Welcome to Los Angeles. Welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast. Dr. Jess Mena. What is up, running family? Welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast. My name is Rizzo. I run all over LA, the nation, and the world. You can follow all my adventures on Instagram at rizzo.runs. I am also a Los Angeles Marathon ambassador. So again, welcome to Rizzo Run Club podcast. We are coming to you from Venice, California. As you can see, surfboards here. We got the Venice vibe going. And today we have like a very important guest of the Los Angeles running community. She is my friend, and I kind of feel like you float under the radar because she is probably, I think, one of the most important parts and members of this LA running community. You fly under the radar, and we're gonna have this amazing episode. And you're gonna see how incredible this guest is. She is an ultra marathoner. She is a 3-time Boston qualifier. She has been featured in Runner's World magazine. And she is also a running coach. She's a doctor of physical therapy. She is my friend, Dr. Jess Mena. Welcome to the Rizzo Run Club podcast.
Awesome. Thank you. What a good, awesome introduction. I feel very special.
I've been practicing that all the way from Pasadena.
Great. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm blushing. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. I'm
for
really
hire
excited.
if you ever want me to hype you up for the next event.
That was great. I'm blushing. No, thank you for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. Obviously, heard and known you for a while, so really happy to be here.
Yeah. You know, the first time I did ever hear about Temple with Jess, right? That is your Instagram handle,
Yes.
which we'll put here and for you to follow her. But the first time I saw you was on Runner's World magazine, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So, and then actually you were featured a few times, right?
Yeah, so I've been pretty lucky enough that me being a runner and a coach and a PT, I do a lot of like expert takes for some of the articles that a lot of the writers write about, especially in terms of regarding to PT and like injury prevention. So I've been lucky enough to say my 2 cents with some articles regarding injury prevention. And then I've had one article that was really just about me as a runner coming up, as a first generation American runner, and what that experience has been like. And so that was, I think, an article in 2023, and Steady was awesome to take the pictures for me. So that was a cool
so
moment
cool.
to bring all my friends together. Like, let's do this. So
cool.
yeah.
And then little by little, I see you at a couple events, and then it's been great to know you this year. We were doing an Apple event together.
That's right.
So we've kept in touch since.
That was a fun event.
You've been an inspiration to me and to my wife as well. So
Awesome.
thank you, and
Thanks.
I'm sure to everybody else. But before we get into your story and running, yesterday you did. Tough Magoo,
the Tough
right?
Magoo 25K.
Congratulations.
That was rough.
20-minute PR.
20-minute PR. Yeah, it's been cool to see. Sometimes you ask yourself, we're all training for things, and things just feel like, I don't know if I'm doing great, or I don't know where I'm at. And then you have a race, and then you say to yourself, well, all that work I've been putting in came to fruition, so that was a nice bonus.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah,
we both ran 16 miles yesterday, but you climbed, was it 2,200 elevation?
Yeah, something
gain?
like that, 2,200 feet elevation
How the
gain.
heck do you do this?
I don't know.
I went to Broken Arrow recently.
I remember.
I died on that hill.
That is on my to-do. I know you reached out to me.
I did.
Just things didn't work out, but that is on my wish list for sure. I want to do a little bit more skyline racing.
Yeah.
I think it's just experience. I've been on the trails my whole life, but nothing more serious in the last 2 years. And it's just like road racing, when you're trying, let's say you're trying to train for a really fast race.
Yeah.
And, a 7 whatever minute mile might seem really tough, but after a while you're like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
Same thing with trail running. It's the more you get out there and run hills, the easier it feels. It doesn't necessarily always, never feels easy. It just feels a little bit more doable,
Yeah. That's funny. I saw your Instagram story. Somebody had made a comment and said, do you even try?
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel. So that's one of those things, because in trail running, I don't think a lot of people fixate on time.
Right.
Like in road running, you're
Sure.
what are your splits?
Sure.
What was the road conditions? What were they like? Did you negative split? Were you consistent? In trail running, it's really just about maybe the vibe. And if you have, like when I coach my athletes, a lot of it is just based on RPE.
Yeah.
So it's effort.
Yeah.
It's really hard to quantify trail racing because every trail is so different. But anyways, Daniel had made a comment like, do you even try when you come out here? And I'm like, what? I mean, and in my head, I get what he's saying.
Right.
I think he was saying like, you have potential. You just don't put yourself out there. And trail running definitely is very competitive, especially in my age group. And so I always said, let the girls fly. But yesterday I'm like, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And it actually worked out. So thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. I mean, 2,200 elevation, I think that's pretty steep. When I was in Broken Arrow, I was flying through the forest. It just felt amazing. I opened it up, like it was letting it go.
Yeah.
Turned this corner, I saw that hill, and I thought, why the heck do people do this?
But even more when you see the elites just flying up this hill. I mean, it's amazing to see
the
that.
Elites.
The elites. It's amazing to see. And you're like, maybe I can run half of that.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
Yeah.
No, the elite trail runners are next level.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
20-minute PR is amazing.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
it's a big jump. Also, we were talking off camera before we get to the running story is Coach Vijo. I mean, it's such a sad.
It is a sad thing. He's a very, important figure in running but also in coaching. He was the first coach's book that I read. And we were also talking offline. I became aware of him through Brenda Martinez.
Yes.
And Brenda Martinez has been a very instrumental figure in my running career because she was really the first Latina that I looked up to because she was one of the only Latina runners.
This is true. Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing her at her first Olympics, and I thought, wow, who is she? I want to be just like her. I mean, I can see the resemblance, I think, just in the culture, right?
Yeah.
And what she looks like. And I was so young, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really became a huge fan. And when I started researching and looking into her, I found out that Coach Vejel was her coach, and that's how I became aware of who he was and the whole, their whole story. Even with her, I think her husband coached her for a while, but I think he trained under Coach Vejel too, right?
Yeah, Carlos.
Carlos. And I became a huge fan of that whole team and everything they've been through. So I really, condolences to not only his family, but all the athletes that he's coached, because coaches do become such an important part of your life,
Sure.
So wishing all of them, I don't know, a moment to really reflect and just appreciate what he's done.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I know we have mutual friends who are almost at the elite's level, and they often will talk about they were structured under Vihel and Bob Larson's structure in Mammoth.
Right.
I mean, Omar I think is one of them.
Exactly.
There's just so many amazing athletes, and they created this amazing structure. I think that changed distance running.
They spearheaded a lot and really were the catalyst to motivating people to become coaches. I think when you think about running, I don't think that a lot of people think about, hey, I want to be a coach one day. It's not what a lot of people want to do.
Yeah.
But I think that when you see the success, and maybe I think it's such a great career to be a supportive figure and give back to someone in that way to help someone else succeed. It's not so much about you anymore. It's about the success of a team. I think that's great. So I hope to just emulate that in some way one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have been running cross country for a long time. Did you ever get a chance to go up to Mammoth and work out there, Shady Rest Park, and see them?
When I ran in college, we would go every summer for a week or two, and we'd do Mammoth camp. Yeah. And so that was my first time, my first exposure to Mammoth, actually. So now as an adult, I'm like, I should probably go up there now more often.
Yeah.
And which is why I really love Mammoth Trail Fest. It brings a lot of good memories back about my earlier running career, and but it's just a great, beautiful place to go and train and race.
Yeah, I was telling you offline that I'm dinosaur in this sport. So I remember going up to Shady Rest Park in Mammoth, and that was when Dina Castor was running. And Meb. I mean, and nobody even knew who Meb was. I mean, he was still
crazy.
Still trying to make his way up. And yeah, I'm giving away my age here.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when we first went to Mammoth. This was in 2007 or 8. We saw Dina at Vaughn's. And all of us cross-country girls were like, oh, my God, it's Dina Castor. Like, hi, Dina. She just waved at us like, oh, gosh, hi, girls. But no, it's really cool. I think you go there, Mammoth, you're going to see a lot of elites. Same thing if you were to go to Boulder, Colorado. You just, anywhere you turn, you see someone important if you're really invested into the community figures of the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So... shout out to Brenda Martinez for the new job.
Brenda, congratulations. I'm not a USC fan, but maybe I will be. I told her, maybe, because you're there, I'll wear a USC cross-country shirt.
Yes. And rest in peace to Coach. So, yeah. So, it's funny. Yesterday you ran the race. I saw on Instagram somebody said, there's Jess before she gets ready to smoke me, and I've seen you. You're an amazing athlete. We went up to one of the SoCal trail races, Hollywood sign.
Oh, yeah.
And I started running up that hill, and I had to stop because I was just like, this is ridiculous. And you're just talking the whole way, and you're just like, hey, Rizzo, and you just keep going. And I'm just like, and I think a lot of new runners, we were talking offline about, running clubs, they see someone like Temple with Jess, they see Rizzo just flying, but little do they know that, you've had, your struggles, your failed attempts. And I did remember, the Runner's World magazine article. And that's what I want to get to is how you started to run. It's an amazing story.
So now I can say I'm 36, but I've been running since I've been 11 years old. And it kind of happened out of accident, really. And needless to say, I don't think that I was born to run in that sense. Like, I had terrible gait.
Right.
My dad would yell at me. This is what, old school dads would say. You run like a girl. Like, just fix, you're not fast. Like, you need to work at it. Just keep going,
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time, even when I was in college. I think I always worked. I commend myself for my work ethic because I like working hard. I really do. But I'm not naturally fast. I have to work really, really, really hard to just be okay. And that's always been how it's been for me my whole running career. And I think what's kept me in this sport is just I truly love it, and I don't, in a lot of ways, I'm competitive, but not, first place podium seeking kind of mentality. It's more now I do it because I love it. I like to challenge myself. I want to see what I can do with that goal in mind of what can you do, you know, and I think that's what pushes me. But it's not an easy thing. And I do think people assume that I've just gotten here out of nowhere. I'm like, I've been running for 24 years,
Yes.
And each year, it's just you chip a little bit off. Even with, trail running, a 20-minute PR, from last year, that's a pretty huge thing, which means last year I think I walked almost every single hill on that course, and this year I didn't. But it's taken so much work of me, going out to the trails every single day and doing speed workouts, doing hill repeats and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come easy. But
it's a great point.
Cool.
But I think a lot of people who are new to the sport, they see you, and they just assume that those girls just gifted, and they have no idea all the struggles that you've encountered, right?
I tell people I'm a regular person in so many ways. I have 3 jobs. Okay, I have a full-time job, a corporate job. I coach. I also see private patients on the side, and then I train 9 to 12 hours a week. Every week. And, I wish running was my full-time job, in a different life.
Yes.
But it's not. And,
but it appears that way because, man, you're always on those solo, trail runs. And it's just like, whoa, this is amazing.
I wish. Yeah, no. For example, on Mondays, I run in the morning and I'll post, but only because I go in at work at 1 and I don't get off till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So people don't know that.
Sure.
But I do share a lot of my life, which a big chunk of it is running. So, I mean, I'm aware of what it seems like, but that's why I try to, talk about it when people ask me, and I'm very open about it. It's not easy, and I'm just like everybody else. I work, I have bills, I have student loans to pay off, you know.
Damn student loans.
Student loans to pay off, and running just keeps me going.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky that I love it so much.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed at this point, really.
Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah, I'm obsessed at this point, yeah.
But so back to the Runner's World article. I believe you ran a marathon when you were 12?
Yeah, I ran my first LA marathon when I was 12.
So was this part of Students Run LA?
Yes.
Oh,
Students
wow.
Run LA. I pretty much got
that story's
weaseled
amazing.
into Students Run LA because I played soccer at the time, but I really wasn't very good, and my dad knew it, and he was just like trying to find something for me. But we also didn't have a lot of money. We weren't fine. I just didn't grow up in a home that had financial wealth to do extracurricular activities like that. And so Students Run LA was free. My coach knew that and said, hey, you're in soccer, you need to run, you probably would love doing Students Run LA. 6th grade, he couldn't convince me. 7th grade, I finally did it, and it was probably the best thing that happened because it laid down like the catalyst for what was going to happen the rest of my life.
Wow.
It was a powerful thing. As I look back now, it was a hugely pivotal decision in my life. Back then I thought, ooh, I got free Saucony shoes and a free t-shirt, and they're picking me up on a bus on Saturday, and I get free snacks, and after every race we get like a shirt or a sweater from Students Run LA. They used to give us hoodies after almost every race.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. So I did it for the hoodies.
And you're running with your friends.
And I was very shy, so Students Run LA, we would see the same girls every weekend, and so they became my friends. I had a hard time making friends. I was just super shy.
Sure.
So really running became like my community, my family, a way for me to socialize with other people, but also exercise. And my parents didn't have to pay a penny. So it kind of was a win-win for everybody.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were living here in the Valley, right?
In the Valley,
Yeah.
Reseda, yeah.
Because you're from the Valley.
I'm from the Valley.
I mean, it's a known thing. You're from the Valley.
I'm going to die there.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to move the second I could, and I did when I went to undergrad. I went to Whittier College, and I was there for 4 years, and then I said, I can't wait to go back home. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I'm not going to leave.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... Where were we? I don't remember.
Yeah, so back to LA Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
So what course was it, though?
This
I'm
is
curious.
the old school course. I don't know. I think LA Marathon
Started in
has
downtown
changed.
LA?
Downtown LA,
And in
Fairfax, and it would start in Fairfax, and we would finish on the other street, Flower.
That was still the best course
The
to
best
me.
course. We would meet at the Macy's mall downstairs, or the Macy's store.
There was always a restroom there. Everything. It was amazing.
They would have us sit there, and I reflect back, and I think back to this. I remember running my first marathon, and not even understanding what I was running.
Yes, the articles.
I was at mile 13, or I can't remember, 13 or 18, and I'm crying. My groin hurts. Everything hurts. My legs hurt. I'm getting cramps.
Oh
and I ask this lady, how much longer? And she's like, sweetie, you're halfway there.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
what? It took me 7 hours. I walked pretty much 13 miles,
Wow.
the rest of the race. And I didn't take a gel. I was just eating gum that they had given us. I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
And then when I finished, I said, oh, this is what we're training for the whole year?
Oh my God.
Following year, 1 hour PR, and slowly I got a better,
So you
faster.
continued with Students Run LA to...
I continued all the way through high school. So I did it from 7th grade to 12th grade.
Wow.
And then in high school, of course, I ran track and cross country. There were a few years the coach did not let us run the LA Marathon because it would go into our track season.
Okay.
So, and he was really smart. He's like, if you run the LA Marathon, you're out for 2 weeks.
Yep.
You're going to miss a few of the meets. We need to score these points for, our CIF.
Yeah.
Scores for track. And yeah, I didn't do it for 2 years. But after that, I went to college, I ran cross country and track in college, no road racing until after I graduated. And then I picked up again. And here I am.
Here you are.
Still doing it.
Do you feel like being a part of Students Run LA that young in 7th grade, So that when you got to high school, do you feel like it inspired you to go for the track team and cross country, or maybe that was just going to be your path anyways?
No, I think honestly, I always say Students Run LA was a guide that opened so many doors for me. I didn't even know what cross country and track was. The same way I didn't know what a 5K was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I left middle school, our high school coach would reach out to the middle schools and would find out who was running Students Run LA. And then what he would do be like, hey, you should do cross country. And I'm like,
Smart
what's
coach.
cross country? You know? And I got weaseled into cross country and I said, oh, you could run on trails? Okay. And I did it. And then he's like, well, you're going to run track. You're going to run the 800 and the mile. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into it. So my first year of running my first year running in high school was just another eye-opener for me. I just didn't know what was out there. And that's when I learned about, Steve, Prefontaine and all these iconic runners, and I became obsessed. And here we are, So.
Of course. That's such a great story. I love it.
So many things to it.
Those cross-country coaches, they're always trying to go after the soccer players, too.
Oh, and they're smart.
They're
they
smart.
Know. They know. They curate a good
and
team.
you're a soccer player. You played soccer.
I played soccer,
so,
yeah.
I always say soccer players are the most amazing runners.
Versatile.
Right?
They're fast. Endurance. They have the endurance. They're great. And if they do transition into running, they do really well. Kind of like that same guy, Remco.
Yes.
Remco, he's a soccer player for Germany and one of the top Tour de France athletes.
Amazing. Yeah, he's
amazing.
Unreal. He just dropped out this year,
yesterday.
but last year was on the podium.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Tour de France.
Amazing.
Watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to the LA Marathon in seventh grade to high school.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you graduated high school, senior year, you did run LA?
I did run LA.
And it was the time substantially just...
It was like 5 hours and 40 minutes or something.
So you were taking 2.5 hours off,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. And then the assistant coach from my college came to see me run at one of our CIF finals, and that's how I got recruited to college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that's so cool.
I'm telling you, running really just brought me so many awesome opportunities, and I don't know where I'd be without it. As cheesy as that sounds, it's true.
I know, right? I feel the same way.
It's true. Yeah.
If you're watching or listening and you are unfamiliar with LA Marathon and the history of LA Marathon, they recently 5 years ago changed it from stadium to sea. It started at Dodger Stadium and ended at Santa Monica. And then they changed it to Century City. The whole city just cried. I mean, they're still mad. They still bring it up,
I know.
right? and
I say bring the OG one from when we would go down. I mean, every single city in downtown LA and the suburbs, it was the best. It was so cool. Yeah.
And
they should do that.
Yeah, they should. To this day, I still tell people I've never seen so much support than running through Hancock Park. There was just kids just with trays of oranges, bananas. But I will say this, that when they changed the course, our OG course that we're talking about, started in downtown, ended in downtown, I cried like a baby. I complained the way people are complaining now about Stadium C.
There's always something. But yeah, when it's gone, you realize, like, man, that was such a good course.
Oh,
even the finish was pretty monumental. I mean, you're running between historical buildings in downtown LA, and you feel like this small, but also you feel like you did something so amazing. I mean, I think we ran through like, in the old course, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we would come from the west side of downtown LA, and you could see downtown as you're approaching, and that was so cool. You're like, I gotta get there.
Yes, you come down Olympic,
all
that's the way, and you just are like, really? I got to run there?
Yep.
And that under there?
Yep.
It was just, you're right. It was iconic. Even the start line, because the helicopters would be, hovering above. And so it would echo through the building. And it was just massive.
It's massive. And then you make that left-hand turn. I think it's on Flower. And then you just know. There's in a sea of people just yelling. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Great.
I cried like a baby the way most people are crying about staying to see. I just want you to know.
They should bring it back, at
They
least for
should.
1 year.
Yeah, and the city of Los Angeles actually owns the LA Marathon. It's not the McCord Foundation. So every time I run into a city official, because I work in downtown LA,
Okay.
and I do see a lot of city officials, I will always put it in their ear, please bring back the race
If
to
they
downtown.
do bring it back, we
Then
got to
it's
thank
in.
you,
Yeah.
Rizzo.
Yes.
This is it. Thank you for
That's
making it happen.
Yeah, so I'm trying either that or come back to the beach.
Yeah,
but,
that's a cool race
I
too.
think it will be to Venice, not Santa Monica, because Santa Monica doesn't want anything to do with anyone anymore.
That's what I figured.
so-
It disrupts
Yeah.
the flow of Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And
They don't even want, Santa Monica does not even want the Olympics here.
Yeah.
The beach volleyball. I mean, it was going to be
Really?
iconic. Beach volleyball with the Ferris wheel in the back, right? The pier.
which is kind of upsetting because I feel as a county, LA County, Santa Monica is such a pivotal location. I mean, it is world known.
Yeah.
When people travel to California, they think of the pier.
They go to the
Santa
pier.
Monica. It is. I mean, there isn't a person on a continent that doesn't know where Santa Monica
Exactly.
is. So it's upsetting to see them not want to participate, and it's like, well, you're such a huge part of our city.
Yeah.
So
It would have been the equivalent of beach volleyball not, being right there at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, It's just kind of...
upsetting. So
but that's okay. I think they're moving to Venice, beach
Yeah.
volleyball, so...
boo,
yeah.
Santa Monica.
Boo.
Gosh, come on, guys.
Boo, LA
Come on.
Marathon. Come
Oh,
back.
of course, back. Santa Monica, get it together, yeah.
Okay, so then how many marathons have you run? I mean, did you eventually get back into the marathon after graduating college and stuff?
Yeah, I went back. I mean, LA Marathon's always been like the marathon that I said that I would do every year. So I've ran, I think, LA Marathon 11 or 12 times.
Oh, wow. So you've run Stadium to See.
I ran Stadium to See. I
Have you
ran
run the
every
new
single
course?
course. Yeah,
Oh, you have?
I ran every single course.
See, that's
yeah,
the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like you're such a trail runner. I wasn't even sure if you were always, you know,
Yeah, I ran the new course in 2023 where I BQ'd for my third time. Was at
you
that course.
BQ'd at this course,
Yeah.
which is a tough course.
Trail running. I was training for my first 50 miler at the time, and then my coach said, "You're gonna run the LA Marathon for a solid workout," and I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Yeah.
And I BQ'd. But I mean, it's also good because I already knew what it took to BQ. In my head, I said, I really just want to see if I can BQ here and keep
Wow.
it consistent. And it worked out. But I also think when you're having fun, things just kind of go a lot better. I didn't have any
know.
pressure to BQ or not.
Sure.
So I
But
think
to
that helped.
BQ at LA Marathon is a big thing at this course, at
Yeah,
least, because it is.
It is
tough.
hard. It's about 1,000 feet elevation gain. I
It's
think
tough.
it's tough. It's a hilly course. I think the trail running that I did totally prepared me for that, and I had 1 foot in road running and 1 foot in trail running, so
Sure.
I wasn't committed all the way to trail.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I did so well. I don't know if I ran a marathon now, how I would do.
How long has it been that you've run a marathon?
About
Or
a year and
2
a
years.
half.
Year
Year and a half. No, actually, probably you're right. Probably closer to 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know. When people say you want to run a 10K, I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I ran on the road.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
that committed right
That-
now.
But that's hilarious to me. Like, do you want to run 10K? You're like, oh, no. Do you want to run Point Magoo and Ray Miller Trail?
I'm there. I'm there.
Right? Like, how's that? What?
It's mental. It's mental. I don't know. I think it's just different. You know.
No,
Like,
I get it.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
just
it.
different.
I get
and
it.
so right now I'm totally in the trail vibe. But I do tell myself I do want to come back and qualify for Boston again and go just because Boston Marathon is so special. And
What is your BQ now?
my last time was 3:28. That was the
Wow.
last one.
That's amazing.
And I'm older, so the age bracket
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
might
yeah.
benefit. But my fastest time was a 3:24.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Flying.
Yeah,
Amazing.
but even then, 3:24 is not that. As the way things are going, pretty soon women are gonna have to be running 3:15s.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's getting faster and
It's
faster.
getting faster and faster every year. So Well,
But still,
I'm glad I'm getting older.
but still, it is an amazing
Yeah.
and respectable time.
Thank you.
You know, you got to think about, the runners listening now, women listening now. There are new runners. There are, 5-hour marathons.
Yeah. You could do it.
Right.
It really, I always say there's no secret to getting fitter, faster, stronger. You just have to be consistent, and it takes time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. We live in an era where everyone wants things now.
Fast.
And it doesn't work that way.
Right.
What is it? The quote that we keep seeing often is like Usain Bolt trained 8 years to drop 9-something seconds.
Yes.
I mean, just think about that, right?
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of people or a lot of women say, me and my friend started and now she's way faster than me. How come I'm not? And I'm like, well, physiologically, genetically, everyone's different. But still, everything works generally the same. You just need to consistently keep at it to create changes. It doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of things don't even happen in a year,
Yes, exactly.
So something to consider. Just don't give up. Give yourself time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, and I'm sure you feel the same way, like just 20 years ago, it's, I remember running with the 9-minute pace group and thinking, oh my God. And I remember I was out of breath and just like, it was longer than 20 years, but, and just to think, like how far we've come and, it does take time.
It takes time. And I think it's something it's always good to reflect back. I always like looking at my stats from 2 or 3 years ago, because it's a nice reality check of, hey, you are getting faster, even though you don't feel it. Yes, other people are running faster than you. Other people are podium and maybe, okay, well, but as long as you're slowly getting there, what's the rush, I guess, is my thing. Now I'm just in it for longevity. I'm trying to run until I'm 80.
For life. Yeah.
I hope, but we'll see what happens.
That's so cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Going back to the previous conversation, did you run Boston? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what was that like for you?
It was awesome. Both times. The first time I ran, didn't go great, but it was a great experience. I remember thinking, no wonder people love coming here. There's something, the energy is different. You've ran it, haven't you?
I have not run it, but I've been there the past 3-4 years.
Okay, so I've seen some of I think your videos about it.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. The hype.
The hype is just, it's something. Even if you run LA, you can't touch that. And there's something about the historical context of Boston, especially, all the ladies out there that, hasn't been a long time that women have been able to run that race.
That's right.
So it was a special experience. The second time I ran it with COVID, I had no idea that I had COVID. And I still... I was out there thinking, wow, I'm running like a 7:30 pace. And I looked down, I'm like, 9-minute pace. What's going on? It was, I could not understand it. I get to the hotel room, I feel like death. I got home and I immediately took a test. And I said, oh my God, I ran with COVID. I probably gave people COVID. Oh my gosh. But it was still fun. So
wow, that's crazy.
So I've always said both Bostons, I think I had a great time, and maybe it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I am very grateful that I got to experience that I got to toe the line, that I got to see every single mile, and that was worth it to me. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. And a tough course?
Tough course. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a few people say it's not that bad. I can't agree with that. It's pretty much like rolling hills the whole way, almost similar to CIM. I compare those two quite a bit.
Sure.
CIM is not easy either.
A lot of people think, I'm going to go CIM and qualify for Boston.
It's a net negative, like downhill course, but you're rolling through the whole course.
Yes.
So I always tell people, you better be careful. CIM is not easy.
You better be ready. Mm-hmm. And I think people are surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I compared them both, Boston and CIM. They're a little similar in some ways. So yeah, they're not easy.
Yeah, somebody recently told me that they felt LA Marathon was a harder course than Boston.
You know why? I think it's because, well, first of all, LA Marathon, the new course is not flat. I mean, even getting out of Dodger Stadium, you start off with a little incline. You're like, oh my gosh, what? And then it's quickly over, but it's kind of rolling hills. And then what sucks is that you finish on an uphill. So I think that's what makes it hard, because once you hit the 20-mile mark, I mean, you're cooked, generally speaking. And in Boston, at the Boston Marathon, you hit the hills, Newton Hills, at about mile 18, and then you're kind of cruising down. So I think maybe the difference might be of, like, how punchy LA Marathon is with the finish versus I think Boston's a little bit more forgiving the last 2 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. Earlier you said that your coach, it's interesting. You're a running coach.
Yeah.
And you have a coach.
I sure do.
And I think it's so important to bring this up because I think the biggest thing is we can never coach ourselves,
No,
right?
I tried. It was a mistake.
It doesn't work.
I got really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You need a sounding board, and you need someone to help guide you, because you can make decisions that you think are sound, and the coach can take a step back and look at the whole picture and say, that's a terrible idea. What are you thinking?
Yes.
So, yes, they help with accountability, but really I think an important role of a coach is not only to be knowledgeable and supportive, but making sure you don't make mistakes that lead to an injury. You know, that's the biggest thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So important, right?
Yeah, totally.
You know, I know like a lot of new runners always ask me, you know, do I need a coach? Yes, you need a coach. Like, you cannot coach yourselves. You can't get online and just pull something off from there. Like, you really need a coach.
Yeah, especially now with AI, I think a lot of coaches get nervous, but I go, AI cannot factor in so many personal things.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a coach pretty much my whole running career. Middle school, I had Coach Sampson. High school, I had my cross country track coach. College, I had my coach. Post college, I started coaching. I ended up hiring a coach from Team Sugar Run, so I was with that coach for a long time. And then for a while, Blacklist, Eric was my coach for a while, and now I've been with Stephanie Flippin for about 2 years. So you need someone.
You do,
You
yeah,
need someone. Yeah.
I want to get back to your coaching in a little bit, right? But how did you transition from road to trail? Did someone just invite you one day and that was it? But which, by the way, I got to show you this plant. Thank you so much.
I'm a
brought
plant
this to me.
lady.
Yes.
I propagated pothos plant for you. So
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So great. I kind of feel like when you gave me this, it made me think like I feel like you're such a trail runner. That's the way I see you.
Yeah.
And that you probably connect on a different level out there.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. And I'm going to sound a little woo-woo, but I feel that trail running has really kind of led me back to my roots in a spiritual way.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily I don't consider myself a religious person, but I think it brought me back to being more aware of like what the whole purpose of everything is.
Yeah.
Like the whole purpose of running to me is, yes, to be healthy, but to connect with other people or be aware of our environment. And when you're not in the trails, you're not in the mountains, it's easy to forget
Sure.
what's actually going on. And so I think it just made me more conscientious about a lot of other things, just aside from just running. Because I think with road running, maybe with me, I got so stuck with, I got to work. These are my times. I got to hit this workout. I had to hit these paces. Yes, I run with friends, but even with running with friends, the goal was to run fast. And with trail running, it's a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
That you get to, yeah, you could do that, but you also meet a lot of people who are not into maybe the glitz and glam of running.
Yeah.
And more down about like, hey, let's after a trail run, let's all pick trash. And you go, oh my gosh, yeah, we should probably take care of our trails, know?
Yeah.
And you respect, I think, not only the roads you run on, but the communities that you meet, and you become more aware of projects that our cities are partaking in with the Santa Monica Mountains and all that stuff. So I think it's included me into that, and I became a plant lady for sure after I started trail running. So I think you made a connection that I hadn't really paid attention to, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very wholesome sport.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to help a friend run a 100-mile race, the Born to Run.
Oh, Born to Run,
right?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like somebody recently from a trail runner told me it's like the Burning Man of, because there's just party. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I was my first exposure to the trail scene, and I was blown away. Like, at first I was like scared because I was like, what the heck is this? But after spending, over, 24 hours there and talking to everybody, the community was amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen community like that.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my wife, you know what? Road racing and running clubs, they're so damn superficial.
Yes.
Because this is community.
Exactly.
And here I am, right? On my Instagram, on YouTube, trying to promote community,
Right.
which I think there is community. There's no question.
Yeah.
Right? But that was like real community.
That is. They
And
will give you a shirt off their back if you need it.
I was blown away. You're right.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why I was very happy to drift out of road running. I don't think I had bad experiences. I think that after a while, running became my job. And it was like, we hear this a lot, like maybe you hear it more often, like don't ask a runner what their next race is going to be or what time it was, right? But that's what it was. Once I qualified for Boston, it was like, oh, what do you want to PR now to? And I'm like, I feel like I did what I thought I was going to do, and
Right.
it wasn't enough.
Right.
It wasn't enough. And I was taking a break from road running, and when I take a break from road running, I generally go into the trails and just easy runs. And I kept seeing SoCal Trail was coming up, and I remember I'm like, oh yeah, I ran an Xterra race for a turkey trot, and that's how I got into trail running. As I ran my first race with SoCal Trail, and
I love that you said Xterra. I remember those days.
yeah. I mean, I've been around for a while, and I enjoyed it, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what running is supposed to be fun.
Sure.
So I said, let me take a break. I've already qualified for Boston a few times. I said what I said everything. I mean, I did everything I said I wanted to do in road running at the time, and I immersed myself into trail running, and I think it just naturally became my thing again.
Yeah.
It's not that I was unfamiliar with trail running. During cross country season, we would run trails all the time, but I think I needed a break from the really tough standards.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I needed to enjoy running again, and I think that's what trail running really did, was reinvigorate me, and exploring new territory and meeting new people.
Yep.
And the community is so welcoming and so nice. I mean, even if you're running into a stranger in the middle of nowhere, you will say, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? If you have an
Yes,
extra
check on
gel,
each
you
other.
just give it to the person. You're
Yeah.
like, I'll make it. I got 10 miles. I can run without a gel. I'm running easy, but
Yeah.
it's just a different community. And I felt welcomed immediately. And I said, yep, I think I'm going to stay here for a little bit, with no idea how long I was going to stay there. But yeah, it's been 2 years, and maybe I'll run a turkey trot, but I don't know.
Turkey trot.
I don't know. I think I'm going to stay there for a while until something changes my mind.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have done well in the trails. Now you did a 50K.
Did a 50K,
100K.
a 50 miler, 100K. I have another 100K. I'm doing Black Canyons in Arizona in February, and then Canyons 100 miler in April of next year.
So that's where you're getting ready
Yeah,
for.
so that's where I'm getting ready for that. And I've coached people run 100 milers, and now it's time for me to do one myself. So
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you feel,
I feel like I know what to expect.
Yeah.
In terms of what the plan is going to look like. And I know it's going to hurt. And I think a lot of us trail runners are masochists in that way.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where people say, they can say whatever they want. I'm like, I know it's not fun. Like it hurts, you know?
I love that.
So I know it's going to hurt. It's just a matter of it really becomes a mental challenge.
Yeah.
Like you're not only training yourself physically, but mentally to endure, And I think that's what's cool. It's like, man, you really, if your mind is there, you can do insane things.
Yeah.
And so
serious.
Yeah. So I'm excited to just tap into the unknown and see what happens.
Yeah. Go into that pain cave, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
How do you enjoy that? Do you like that?
No.
That part of it? No?
No. But I like finishing and going, dang, I did that. Holy cow. I have a high pain tolerance. You really don't. But yeah, it kind of transforms you. You kind of go through this weird, you go through many weird moments during your trail run where you're thinking, I remember in my 64 miler, I was just thinking about stuff that happened when I was little and thinking about like random things, and I'm like, wow, this is a reflective, transformative thing. I'm looking over this rock, looks like a possum. I'm like, oh, that's just a rock. Let's just keep going. And it's just a very unusual experience. But
do you have like any running mantras, or you just drift off like the?
I had them written all over my hand. Didn't matter. Just after a certain point, you're like,
it doesn't make sense to you.
No, I think you just have to find inspiration, and I think a form of inspiration for me has always been like my parents and my family. So I just think about like, what would my dad say?
Yeah,
he'd be like, Dale, don't stop, come on. And so I think about that, like what would my dad do,
Right.
or what would my dad say? And that always helps more than anything. It's just thinking about like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to make myself proud, but also this is really cool.
Sure,
like what a cool experience to be out here. A lot of people don't do this.
So
Who
cool.
goes out there and suffers like that?
Yeah, right.
Not normal people.
Yeah,
So.
no, there's something wrong with this.
Yeah, there's something definitely wrong.
And your parents must be very proud of you, I'm sure.
I think so. They kind of don't understand. My mom, for sure. She's like, why are you doing that? You should be at home resting. I'm like,
Right.
what? Lady, what? No,
Yeah.
my dad is way more supportive about that. But yeah, I think they're proud that I just always work towards something. Like I always have goals, and I set myself, and I work hard. I don't give up pretty easily. So I'm sure they're proud of that. And that's to them, I've just seen them work hard their whole life. And I always say, you just got to keep working,
That's right.
keep working.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, good luck to you on the
Thank you.
100-miler. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see how you do.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I hope, someone's filming you.
We'll see. I know. I have to ask. Maybe I'll ask Steady. Steady, please take some pictures.
Yeah, serious.
We'll see.
The pain cave.
Yeah, the pain cave. Take a picture of me throwing up. Yeah.
So then coaching, like you're a running coach. So, how's that going for you? Do you have, a lot of clients, and, I'm sure you got them through not only trail, but road racing.
Yeah.
And
So I actually work for Lift Run Perform, which is an East Coast coaching company, and a lot of my athletes to them are on the East Coast, so they're all roadies. So a lot of road marathons. Most of the ultra marathon clients that I get are actually through social media and my Instagram. So I get a little bit of mixture of everything. And so I think in that way, that's what my page has. Yeah, it shows my life, but I think it just gives people a glimpse of, oh, she kind of knows what she's doing, or she's done this. And then they see me coach. When they see that I coach, they'll reach out to me that way. But so I work with LRP, which is how I met my coach, Stephanie Flippin. We're colleague coaches. And yeah, it's going pretty good. I mean, I've been coaching for almost 3 years, and it naturally happened. As a therapist, people get injured, and so they'll ask, or I'll ask them, hey, what happened? And that's how it started. Runners would be, I have shin splints. Tell me what you did. Have no coach. And then I give them recommendations. This is how you should titrate your miles. So I've always done that, just not in a formal coaching, capacity. And so it became a natural transition that I'm like, I need to get my certification and officially coach.
And you are certified.
I am certified. I'm finishing right now my ultra marathon certification through Coach Coop's program. And that's always been, it's always good to learn a little bit more. And and then you find, there's so many coaching methodologies, and you just read different books and take something from everybody and see what works for you, what resonates with you, and you just kind of try it out with some people. And if you nail it, you go, I got something here. And if it doesn't, you just take a step back and adjust that a little bit. But at the beginning, I think it's a lot of trial and error, because you're trying to figure out like how you want to work as a coach, and how people are responding to that coaching style. So
it's gone well.
Yeah.
You like it?
I love it. I really enjoy it. I like helping people. You know, that's what I do. I do it every day, and it's just another stepping stone for me to help people in another capacity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's been really cool.
And we have to give flowers where flowers are due. You're a doctor of
physical therapy. Yeah.
So, I don't know how you feel about this, but like when I think of you, like you're certified, you're a coach, you're an experienced runner, but you also PT. You're very come from like almost like a science
Yeah.
portions. So you're able to combine all these elements to coach people, which I think is incredible.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like now, with the running boom and, social media, there's someone that ran a 320, and because they've run a 320, that automatically qualifies them to be a coach, and they really should not be coaching them, right? I mean, we see that a lot.
I know. We're kind of, and we talked about this. We're in this era of like social media is so important for young people and just general our world now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have my own. I get a little bit frustrated because exactly what you said. Just because you've ran one time or a fast marathon doesn't mean it's a huge responsibility to be a coach.
Yes.
You're putting, it's not just running. I mean, you're putting someone's training on the line, and the last thing you want to do is hurt somebody. And I don't think people really think about that.
100.
Like it is a responsibility as a coach to make sure that you're curating something specifically for these people, understanding their medical background, their history, like what they have and haven't done, what their work life is like, what their stress life is like. All these personal things come into play. Yeah. And I know that a lot of the people that come and look for me have had insane injuries or really bad injuries, and so they're looking for a therapist to guide them.
Yes.
And so the niche that I have is I do have a lot of injury prone people, and I feel really honored that they trust me, but I take my job pretty seriously,
Of course.
So like right now I'm coaching someone who had a really bad stress fracture, and we have barely gotten to running 4 miles after 2 months of coaching. So think about, like, I'm very patient. I do not think, we should be doing this fast. I go, this is how we should be doing things, you know?
Right.
But I feel very comfortable knowing, like, I know the physiology of things. I know the healing rates. I know how much stress goes into, running and these ligaments. And then you have someone who has no training whatsoever probably saying, you just need to run more. You just need to run faster.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. I just say, well, I think people will find out anyways. Like if you know what you're doing, things will go great. And if you don't, people figure it out really quickly. It's either people get injured and then they go, I don't think, are you sure when athletes start questioning you, something's gone wrong.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the greatest distance coach, Vigil. He was a doctor as well. His approach was scientific. It was amazing. It's frustrating to, we're in this boom to see so many runners being coached by someone who's qualified for Boston 20 times. And I quite frankly, I'm just like, the things they tell me, I'm like, I don't want to say anything because it's not my place, but it's just that's not how it should be,
I know. And it kind of brings me to the topic, which is, I'm trying not to be too controversial, but I do think that run club leaders have also placed that coaching hat on themselves. When I go, it's not your place to do that sometimes.
100%.
And I go, well, if you guys are curating plans, that's fine. It should be really generic. But I've seen it happen. And I think that's when I started realizing, I don't know if this is for me.
Right.
As a run community leader. And that's kind of why I stepped away, I think, because I think a lot of things I didn't agree with. And I just thought, you know what? I think it's better for me to sit over here and not say anything than ruffle feathers. As much as I don't mind ruffling feathers, but I also think it's good to know when you're like, okay, is this something worth fighting or not?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I've gone to several big running clubs, and they have this blanket schedule for LA Marathon, and it's just clearly not made for maybe just a few people, but it's not made for the back of the pack, clearly.
Right.
It's not made for the front of the pack. I don't even know who it's made for. It's just basic stuff online. And it is frustrating to see that, because you want to see them get to the start line in the best possible position. And those blanket schedules usually will not do it.
Well, they keep me in business because I see those people. It's so true, because at my corporate job, I'll get young people in their 20s. I won't say which run club, but on the beach somewhere, and like, I've been running with this run club. There's a lot of us, and we're supposed to be running. And I'm looking at her plan, and I'm thinking, girl, you've never ran more than 5 miles in your life. Why are you running 15 miles off the bat?
Right.
You know, and she was out. She was injured for almost 3 weeks, and I don't know if she ended up running the LA Marathon. It was around that time. So they come looking for me for desperate help, and I just go, you have to just ride this out a little bit. There's nothing I can do that magically can make this go away. But a lot of training errors could be avoided, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, earlier I'd said, you know, my introduction here that, you know, about you is that, you know, I feel like you're an important part of this LA running community. You fly under the radar, you know, for things like that. Like, I don't want to be controversial, but, you know, I think it's important if you're from LA, or you're listening, you're from LA, you're watching, like, this is what I mean. Like, Coach Jess is someone probably you want to come see, you know, who not only has experience, but has education, very smart. And she comes from this background where she's going to see where you're coming from.
Right.
Running wise.
Yeah.
And then develop you from there, not just.
Yeah, willy-nilly everything.
Yes.
And that's kind of where my coaching, I think, that's where my coaching style comes from, is I really want the athlete to feel complete trust, knowing that I'm going to do everything to get them to where they want to be as safely as possible.
Yeah.
So again, I think my education in PT has helped me out a lot, because I feel very like, even if someone has an injury, like, hey, I'm injured, I'm like, let's try to rehab this.
Yeah.
I can totally do that with it. It's within my wheelhouse. So I'm lucky that I have some versatility there. But yeah, and I do fly under the radar. I think I was way more out there. I think back in the Blacklist LA days when I was running with Good Vibes, training with Good Vibes, and, you know, in the Valley back then, there was like 2 or 3 run clubs. Now there's like 30 run clubs in the Valley. Yeah. It's just grown. The running boom is here to stay for a little bit. And I think I'm just a little old school about it.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just here to run, like, after work and really work hard. I really don't, you know, I think the first controversial thing that I said was about 3 years ago, when I said, my run club, when I had an open public run club, was, I'm not here to give out tanks, free stuff, or raffles. And people didn't like that. But I think it was more so, in my head, I just wanted a place where people came after work to run and create a community with people, and that was pretty much it. Just simple. There's no extra superficial fluff. But I think now it's kind of almost like you have to be like that.
Because no one's going to come. You know, it's a different era.
It's a different era, and I just will not subscribe to it. So I think, so once I closed my run club, which was last year, you know, we still have a WhatsApp, and it's the same people that show up every week, and I love that. It's like 10 people that show up, and we all run. We all, you know, we'll ask each other to, you know, come crew races. Some people will get invited to Thanksgiving dinners. We're all hanging out as friends now, and I think this is what I wanted. I want to create like this small, you know, community family of runners that not only train together but become friends and supportive of each other.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the trail community, right?
Sure.
And that's happened, and I think I'm okay with the small community that we have. And that's the other thing. I think with my run club, I never wanted it to be like this huge thing.
Yeah.
And some people want that, and I just didn't, you know? Yeah.
You know, for someone who travels to all these run clubs over LA and even in the nation and stuff, I feel like, and I tell people this all the time, running clubs and running club leaders, is that the best clubs are the smaller clubs, not necessarily the big clubs, because they've just become too big and too out of hand. But there's something about a nucleus of a very small, intimate
and
club.
I feel like our closest, the best way, the other group that I really respect and admire and look up to is Unsanctioned. Yeah. And they're also a really small, knit group of people that just want to work hard.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what it's, that culture to me is what it's about. And I just think right now we're in the era of like, let's post cute pics. There's nothing wrong with pics. I love taking pics. I'm just saying, it's just in the era of something on display.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And I always say, like, look, if Instagram died and Strava died, I would still be doing the same
Still
thing
be
I'm doing.
running. Yep.
I ran before Strava existed, when it was just a Timex stopwatch.
Yep.
I had no idea how much I was
Yep.
running. We would use like the paper,
Yep.
like running journals that you would just write in what you ran today and the route. That's what
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, you and I, we both came from the running culture where there were no running clubs, right?
No
and
running
very
clubs.
few. Your timing was on
A
on
little
your shoe,
chip
the
with-
chip,
yeah.
right? And where it was just the love of the run.
It was just
nothing more.
yeah.
There was no Instagram, like you said, no Strava.
No Strava, no Instagram,
Yeah.
nothing. Even your results, you had to find it at the end of the race on a sheet of paper. They would print it.
They put it up, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd go see.
Yeah, I found all my old stats from going online, and what's that? It's like this website where they have all your old races, and that's how I found out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did run that race in college. I had no idea. We just
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm at. I'm definitely old school in that sense, and I know some people have mentioned it to me. They're like, yeah, people think you're like the strict, no nonsense like run person with your run club.
Yeah.
And that first time I heard that, I was like, I don't know how to feel about that. Is that like a bad thing to you or a good thing to you? And then I started getting a little bit like, oh, is this why a lot of people are not coming to my run club? But there was a time where we had a lot of people come to the run club, but it was always when I would raffle things off. And then I thought, well, I love that people are here, but I don't want people coming here with the incentive being something free.
Sure.
When the incentive should be the running and the community or the people. So
Yeah.
I think it's just not. I'm not with the moment right now. Maybe that's where
No,
I'm at.
I get it. I get it.
Even though I do think it's great, I do love how much people are running, and running is getting a lot of love and all that stuff, and a lot of brands are investing into running. And I think that's awesome. And I'm just going to leave that to the young, excited folks to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think I'm just like, good job, guys. Keep it up.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Like we both come from that era where there was no running clubs. And for now, the way things are now, so many running clubs have blossomed in all areas. Like, we were talking, before the show, is just, I love to see it because I just need to see more people run. Like, I love to run, and I want to just try and, spread that to people. So in a sense, I love to see it, but at the same time, it's just getting a little too weird.
It's getting a little too fluffy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw on Instagram this morning, there was probably like 500 people in Miami running.
Oh my
down.
God, I
You
saw that. And
It's-
I immediately said, this is what I hate about it. I would be so mad. I'm like, get out of my way. My gosh, I'm trying to get through, Yeah.
Somebody, and I think maybe we saw the same one, but the caption was like, it's starting to get a little out of control.
Exactly, that's what it was.
Yeah,
It is starting to get, power to the people.
Yeah.
And but I forgot who. There's someone in the SoCal running scene who made ask a question, or what do you think about run clubs? And I said 90% I love running solo, and they got so mad.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you hate it, but not for your run club. And I was like, wait. First of all, if that's your response, that's the whole problem.
Right.
It's okay that people run solo.
Yes.
And it's okay if people want to run the run club, I think. There's no right or wrong way to run.
No.
And some people run for different reasons,
Right.
And if a run club is the vibe for you, fantastic. That's what I say. And if running solo is for you, great.
Yeah.
There's opportunity where you can jump off your solo train and run with a few friends or run club. And there's nothing wrong with you running with a run club, but also running alone sometimes.
Yeah. For sure.
Whatever floats your boat.
I think you bring up a great point. I'd never thought of that. Is that if Strava and Instagram went away tomorrow, would majority of these people still continue to
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
interesting
they should
you
try that.
Bring that up.
Yeah, just close it down. Just kidding.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I know what my answer is. I would still, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you would too.
Yeah.
So-
Even like maybe like 10 years ago, I took the previous 10 years off from racing marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks. And all I did was run every day for the love of the run, nothing more. There was no races, nothing to train for. I'd run 5 miles every other day. Weekends, I'd run 7, 8 miles because it's just, I told you, I grew up in this sport of running. And for me, it's like a Zen moment to get out there. Maybe put on music, maybe not. But for 10 whole years, I did that because it was just the way to disconnect from everything.
Exactly.
And I wish people would learn to do that instead of being so on
caught
the
up
ground.
with other things.
But,
exactly.
But at the same time, I don't, I just love that people are running, and if that's the way it has to be, fine, so be it. And if it's for them, they will continue to run for the rest of their lives the way we're gonna do.
And I hope that that's it. I hope that that's what happens is we get all these folks to get out there and run and continue to stay active. Especially, I think now in an age where maybe a lot of our nation isn't so healthy. If this is a way to help promote health and fitness, great.
Yes. Absolutely.
If it'll get you to try to get your parents to go out and run or walk, great.
Yes. 100%.
So I think that, like all things, I'm sure there are bad things to it, but there's also a lot of good things to it. And I do give the running boom right now that, it's like, okay, great. As long as I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny too, like we kind of come from the same era and do you remember like back in the day, I ran Chicago, I had run New York, and that was that. Like, and the 6-star was never really on my mind.
I don't think it was ever really a big thing until the last 10, 15 years.
And now every time people say,
are you doing the 6-star?
Are you doing the 6-star?
No, I'm not.
No,
I just want to run. But, I do think it's cool because, this is the cool thing about technology is I found out about all these things. Like Boston, I knew about Boston. I didn't know that it was such a big deal until I left college.
Yeah.
And people were asking me, hey, how come you haven't qualified for Boston? You ran your whole life. I'm like, wait, I have to qualify for it? What's the time? And then that's how I qualified.
Yeah.
It was because I knew.
Yeah.
I think if I were to go back to road racing, I think I would try to go for the 6-star just to be like, oh, okay, I did it. That's a nice little thing. But I don't think before this I had no perception or idea.
No one was really talking about it. It was not a thing. And
I don't even think people really traveled to run marathons. It was like you stayed local, something local. You knew who the local runners were. You saw them all the time. Yeah. Like I said, we talked about the Nike pop-ups that would pop up, and you would just go there, and 10 or 12 people would be there, and you would try on the shoes, and at the end of the season, they'd be like, "You guys want to keep the shoes?
Yeah.
Great."
And it
Nike
was very
Run
low
Hit
key.
Wonder, Nike,
so
super low key.
Yeah. It's so crazy. Now I feel like these days, I meet a new runner and they're just like, "Are you trying to get the 6-star?" Like, no, I'm not. just
here for the vibes. That's it. I'm just here to run.
But again, I think it's an amazing thing, and if it's pushing people to get out and run, so be it. But it's just kind of funny to come from a different era and then. The boom here is here, and
is here. Yeah,
it's just trying to adjust to the different.
I know. It used to be a hated sport. Yeah. Everyone hated running. Now it's like the cool thing to do. I think.
Sure.
So you know what? We're cool.
Yeah. Or podcasting, right? Here we are on this podcast.
Talking about running. Yeah.
Cool. The whole point of the podcast, was so that we can just inspire somebody who's thinking about running or is a runner. Trying to think about running their first marathon, and that's what it was all about, and I've been fortunate to meet everyone from across the country and the world who said they've watched it and inspired them. And so my goal now is to bring voices like yourselves from the community, because people are going to be inspired, of everything you've said today, and I wanted to talk real quickly to bring back a point is that it's not necessary that you have to hire Jess to be your coach, but it's the point is that if you're thinking about reaching your goals to go to the next level or even starting to run, you want to make sure you vet somebody, right? And that was the whole point,
Yeah.
is to make sure that not only does someone have the experience, but they also have the education, and they're coming from that place. You know, they're grounded in that space to give you that space, because it's so important, because that is the foundation to the success of your running. And you know, and I feel like, you know, it was important for me to bring you here to expose you more to all our friends and our new friends, that, you know, you come not just from an experience and a fast runner and a Boston qualifier. You actually come grounded in education in this. And I think it's so important for our friends in LA to understand, you know, who Jess is, you know.
Thank you. And it's something important to me. You know, I love running, but like I mentioned before, it's like a huge part of my life, and everything that I do has some tie to it. And I love PT, and I get to help people, and yes, I get that's opened doors up to me to help injured runners at coaching, and you know, so even when I'm out there and someone's like, "Hey, my calf is hurting," I'm like, "What did you do? Did you stretch today? Maybe you should," you know. So I don't mind being that person, and I want everyone to succeed and do what they want to do and be happy, and hopefully I can be, you know, just a resource for a lot of people.
Sure.
And if that's what it is, great.
That's awesome. You know, I was going to ask you, have some notes here, like, what do you feel is like the current state of the LA running community? But we've kind of talked about that, you know, but you know, something that you and I have been very vocal on is, you know, the current ice raids in Los Angeles. You know, we have the National Guard here. We have Marines here. I think a lot of them have left. But, you know, I think if anyone's watching or listening that is not from Los Angeles, it's kind of ridiculous.
It's scary. Right? It's concerning. It's really frustrating. And I think it hits a lot of us are first generation Latinos, second generation Latinos. You know, our parents are immigrants. We know someone whose parents, you know, have been, you know, even I don't know if you know, but we both know someone we know who their mom left and self-deported, and we're seeing pictures, you know, images of people being taken, and it's hard because, you know, running is obviously our center of our world, but who makes up the LA running community? A lot of us are Latinos. Yep. And so it hits home, and it's hard. I was just telling one of my friends, it was really hard for me, and it still is a little bit hard for me to post a smiling pic. And it feels wrong. Like there's so many people suffering. Yep. And I think the hard part is I'm very vocal. I've always been very vocal. I feel that it's okay to be vocal if it's the right thing. And in the midst of, yes, there's a lot of support, or I received a lot of support for being vocal, but I also got a lot of backlash for it. And I thought, I must be living in La La Land to think that everyone is on the same page about this, that our friends, friends' families are being affected, and to a lot of people, they don't care. And I think I felt a little bit let down by that, because I didn't expect that, especially living here. But it is, and I think the best thing that we can do is just to continue to keep ourselves in the loop about what's going on, and kindly, you know, notifying people or educating people on it. And in a lot of ways, I feel like it's not our responsibility to educate other people who don't understand, you know. But I think when people respect you as a person and they see you talking about this, it might make them go, like, what? Maybe this is wrong. Right. And so that's the one thing I think I'm taking out of this. Sure. Because there's a lot of people who do live in LA who are not from LA or come from different places that I've never been around such a diverse community. And I want to remind people that most of the nation is not diverse. We live in LA, and we're so lucky that we live in such a diverse city and diverse communities. And I'm saying this because in the trail running community, it's still pretty Caucasian. Yes. And this is where I learned. I've had people say, like, I'm from this state. I never grew up around people that were not white. Right. Right. I didn't know that this is what you guys are going through, and it made them reflect. And I thought, if that's what I did or that's what our friends did, great. You know, and that's all we can do.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm at, where I'm like, okay, all I can really do is share my story and share what's, you know, how it's affected me and my family, and share resources and hope that it might just make someone think, like, why do I not agree with this? Or why do I agree with this?
Yeah.
And if that brings up a conversation,
yes,
great.
I think it's so important for someone with a platform to say something.
Yes.
And I ran into someone from Instagram at the Rose Bowl recently, and she's got a great platform. And I said, you really haven't said anything. I noticed. Why, you know? And I still don't know why she won't.
I think I know why. Can I interject? So I think this is why I have a problem with social media to an extent, is because people are so worried about losing followers or not getting enough likes or making people feel uncomfortable. And the response to that is, this is uncomfortable. Yep. There's nothing comfortable about this. Yep. So why do we have to quiet down and shut up so that you pretend and feel that you're living this life or in the city that maybe this doesn't affect you and you want to feel better about it? So, because that's what I think I've been getting. And the only reason I'm saying this is because one of the people that told me that I needed to stop was someone in the community that I thought would never say that.
Sure.
And it was like, well, it's going to affect your business.
Yeah.
You know, are you sure? And it's kind of a little too negative. And I'm thinking, this is negative. There's nothing positive or light about this. So if it makes you uncomfortable, too bad.
Yeah.
And if it makes someone not want to work with me because I stand on something like that, okay. Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And, you know, I did tell her, like, you know, that I wasn't going to judge her if she didn't say anything, because, you know, I don't know what people go through and why they decide not to say things. But I could just wanted to let her know that my platform is all about running, nothing more. I have my own personal Instagram, but that's personal. But, you know, it just needed to be said, and that there will come a time down the line, years from now, and history will remember whether you did something or not. And that's kind of the one thing that I feel really proud. I'm not, and generally not a fearful person. So, like with immigration stuff, like I the first few weeks, I mean, I was posting so much, and I was so angry, and I'm so angry about it. And I think people know, like, where I'm coming from. And at this point, if we haven't spoken about it, or I've said it, I've been very public about it. Look, I know who is an ally and who isn't. Yep. Listen, down the road, I'm not saying that I have so much power, but when people start thinking about other people who they want to collaborate with or who you're going to recommend, I know who the people are. I'm like, I'm probably not going to think of you right away. And it's okay, right? But I think it's important to remember, like, okay, if these are the people that you think may not necessarily be an ally or may not necessarily be there to support our community in this important way, I'm less likely to. I'd be more dubious about what exactly am I doing here with this person. Yeah, 100% agree. So I don't think people are bad, but I also think it doesn't take much to just reshare something, and if you don't believe it and don't reshare because you simply don't believe it, then I think it's just good for me to know. Yeah, you know, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, from all of this, I think what I've learned is, I think I know who is who, and that's okay. I think everyone is entitled to an opinion, and everyone is entitled to believe what they want to believe. And those people can definitely, you know, create their own spaces with other like-minded people. And if it comes to any social problems or any community-based problems, I can always think of the people who stood by our friends. 100%. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah. And I did receive a lot of hateful messages, and I would tell them, thank you for sharing this with me, because, you know, you were entitled to say whatever you want, just like I am. But thank you for sharing this with me. Now and I wish you well. Yeah. But I know now
Oh,
who
yeah.
you are. Whether you unfollowed me or not, I have no idea.
Right.
And then second of all I've been watching everybody, and whether they said anything or not, like you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't say anything, thank you for not saying anything, because now I know very much like
But
you.
then I also want you to know, like, even, and this is not to make anyone feel bad, but I do think it's important when it comes to important things like this. This isn't a small issue, right? It affects our communities in a huge way. People, like we're having a conversation, are having dozens of conversations about this. So everybody knows
Right.
who's who.
Right.
And everybody may not say it, but people will start noticing, like, people are going to move differently. And if you ask yourself what's going on, you just got to do a self check and think back, like, this was your opportunity to do the right thing, and the time has passed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the beauty of the running community, is that you can go to a running club and you can run races, and you're running with all kinds of nationalities.
Yeah.
And there's just mutual respect out there.
Right.
Now, like, we go to running clubs, we've been to running clubs, we've been to races, and you know that maybe someone is on the other political side than you are. They're big Trumpers. But when we're running together, there's mutual respect, and we all get along.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the running community, right? And, you know, if you're not from Los Angeles and you're watching or listening to this, you know, our communities are being affected. A lot of the running clubs now are sparse on weekdays because people are afraid to come run.
To go,
And, you know, these are the people we run with in races. They are volunteers at races. We run through these communities that are being affected. And, you know, it's just sad to see what is happening here in Los Angeles. Recently at MacArthur Park, a park here in Los Angeles, they had tanks. And, you know, I've run through MacArthur Park several times, even in the evenings. That's a little rough, but you see a lot of everything there. You see trouble, but you see a lot of hard workers, right?
Hardworking
who
people
are on the phone talking to their families back home, probably because they're here working. And if there was ever a problem, the LAPD could come to MacArthur Park on bicycles, not patrol cars, bicycles, and solve a problem. But to see tanks and the Marines show up it's all show. And if you're believing this stuff, you know, I'm here to tell you that it is nothing like that here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, and, you know, I just hope that a lot of people know that we're supporters of, you know, our community and our, you know, Latino community, our Latino friends, and you know, it's a city built by immigrants in a lot of ways, and, you know, we have cities named after, you know, countries and little towns of Latin American. Our whole city is named after, you know, Latin American figures, and I think that's important also to touch base, you know. So, and I hope that people know that at least, you know, we're here to talk. If anyone needs to talk or guide you to some resources or something like that, we can always do that. But yeah, I'm definitely here to support my community, and hope that this goes away soon. I'm not sure, but that's all we can hope for. So,
and, you know, like, and even if you still have not said anything, you know, like, think about this, like, you know, just like you're in Runner's World magazine, you've contributed many times. You know, there's a difference between having a lot of followers, 10, 11,000 followers, and talking about running on your Instagram. But if you've never been on Runner's World, that's hardcore. Like, this is real. And you were not afraid to say anything.
No.
Maybe Runner's World doesn't want you back ever again, but that's not the point. The point is, this is what's important. And even if they didn't, right? I think I'm really confident and happy where I am in life. If they said, so what? I don't care. You're not paying my bills. You're not paying what? Okay, Runner's doesn't want you back. Okay, what is that? That's not changing my life in any way, shape, or form. You know. So, or if brands don't ever want to work with you, well, I'm not working with any brands right now, so I really don't care. You know.
unless they're giving me $1 million, it wouldn't really do anything. So I feel this freedom of, we've talked about this, like, I mean, I have this freedom to say what I think is right. And I always say, as long as I say things that doesn't bring anyone down, that's not malicious, that's not anywhere near attacking or violent to anybody else, if it's the right thing, I'm going to say something.
Sure.
And I feel freedom in that I have nothing, no brands, people really telling me or guiding me to say anything. It's just me. And I love that, that I have that ability to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for speaking up. I really appreciate it. So,
thanks.
And like you said, we are going to collaborate with, a lot of people, and that's the reason why you're here. Besides being my friend. But thank you for speaking up. I was really a lot of respect to you. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think we could just keep talking forever. But
we could keep talking forever. So, but
I got to bring you back after your 100-miler.
Yeah, next year.
I want to talk some more old school, and I want to talk about the state of, brands. We didn't get into that.
I know we didn't get into that.
It's
so much more to talk about.
But I think it's important that we bring it back after the 100-miler and see how it went.
Yeah.
But if someone wanted to find you on Instagram, your Instagram handle.
Yeah, tempo_with_Jess. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't have any other social media. I'm not a TikToker, but I have my Instagram. You can reach me there. And if anyone has any coaching inquiries, there's a link in my bio. But come by and see me run.
Yeah. And check out the link in her bio. It's kind of cool. They have all the articles from Runner's World and some other publications are in there. And then, of course, the coaching link. So
coaching link
if
is
you're
there.
interested in online coaching, you can find that information there.
Yeah.
So,
But thank you. I really appreciate it. I was really excited to be here and chat with you.
So real quick, what's next before we get off? What's next for you?
Which
the 100-miler?
The 100K in I'm doing Black Canyon's 100K in February, and then Canyon's 100-miler in April.
Yeah.
Those are my big time races. Right now I'm going to finish the SoCal Trail series for the next the next few months. And if anyone's going to be running AC 100, I will be out there volunteering. So good luck to you guys running AC 100.
Yeah, awesome. When is that?
It's August 2nd, I believe.
Cool. It's coming
I might
up.
be getting the date wrong, but August 2nd, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for making the long trek from the valley over here.
It's okay. The weather here is way better. So.
Right? It's amazing. I'm not sure if you got that message I sent you.
You
said,
did.
Bring a hoodie because
did.
Venice is always cold for some
The sun
reason.
broke through on the other side, and I'm like, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
but
thank you.
still,
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
But
Thanks.
thank you for coming on today.
Thanks, guys.
Again, my name is Rizzo, and you can find all my adventures on rizzo.runs on Instagram. I'd like to thank my partners here, HK Corp, for allowing me to use their office. They're always generous with their space, so thank you very much. But my name's Rizzo, and we'll see you on the next one. Boom.
That was fun.
That was great. The Rizzo Run Club podcast is filmed in Venice, California. Thank you to Lauren Hiltzer and HK Corp for allowing us to use their office. We'll see you next week. Let's go.